Baby, we getting a favorite song up in here on the big choice selection. Put it on the shuffle. The big choice, over 1,300 songs, and it choose one of my top 20. Amazing. Amazing. Is that a top 20? That's such a hard choice. I don't know what my actual top 20 is. Great question. Great question. What the heck though, you very special RuneScape view. How could you be this perfect sometimes? Anyway, I'm just mining. I need to mine because I'm trying to get 1,000 of each of these primal ores. So that's what I'm doing here in the background. I wonder, in terms of sound, ambient could probably go away. Yeah, I need that. That's under sound effects, so I can't get rid of the tick 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 of me slapping a ore vein. But that's just because I need to know where my next opportunity is. Anyway, since I finished Wings of Fire several days ago, let me see. Where's my calendar? Today is not Monday. Incorrect. Today is not Tuesday. Incorrect. Today is Wednesday technically now, because it's past midnight. I hear the opportunity. I hear you. How's my... Still got 80 minutes of that. Let's look at my calendar on here. You can't see it, but I'm looking at it. Can I go... Aha. Yeah, 1 week ago. 1 week ago exactly I finished Wings of Fire, so... Before I forget everything about Wings of Fire, I saw... There's a video that I want to try out.
Yo, have you
Can I lower you a little bit? Hello.
ever wondered which Wings of Fire character you are most like? Well, I hope you said yes, or this part is going to be really awkward.
Maybe you shouldn't be wondering which one you're most like, because boy howdy, why is native in my watch later? Anyway, boy howdy, these characters have big traumas and big curses and big everything. It's not something you wanna aspire for, so very funny that you're just like, well, I hope you're wanting to figure out which one you are, but then again, like, that is probably the reason why you clicked it with a title, you know, as such.
With this guy, Winter but Cooler, very insightful, very fun to work with.
Winter but Cooler is good.
That will tell you which character you are most like, but instead of being a normal YouTube quiz, because those are fun but not so accurate, I use some slightly more advanced techniques to figure out which character you are most like.
All right. I've never even heard of other YouTube quizzes. In fact, I've peeked a little bit to like the point where he starts to describe that he has like a Google Doc or something, and so that that already has me confused out of my gourds. But let's open that up. Copy of that really fast. Look at you. You need to do this. Good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah, okay, Google Docs isn't showing any personal information, so I can put that up. 1 second. Let's get this back. And this can go right there.
It's really simple. Basically, I'm going to ask you questions.
Am I gonna, well, he's probably gonna...
In this video, and you are going to put your answers into a spreadsheet. So if your
Yeah.
answer to the second question is a 4, you'll just type the number 4 into the question 2 box. Simple as that. You can find a link to the spreadsheet in the description. It's going to ask you if you want to make a copy. You say yes, and you'll be good to go. After you've answered all the questions, you can click the Results tab.
Results tab.
At the bottom, and it's going to give you a breakdown of your scores and how you matched up with.
Okay, so it's gonna have a funny graphic. It's gonna be like telling you the strength of all of the stuff. And it has characters from all 3 of the, what's it called? arcs, so, you know. Extroversion, thoughtfulness, trust. Oh, geez.
All right, go ahead and pause the video if you need to set things up now, and then we will start.
I need to pause the video because my Rockertunity is going off. Thank you for your moment.
Our 15 questions.
There's the countdown, beautiful. I love you.
Question number 1. It's finally lunchtime on your first day of class at Jade Mountain Academy. Where are you sitting? In a corner, as far from everyone as you can get,
That's already it.
Or by all the awesome friends you've already.
Oh yeah, that's a 1 guaranteed, easy.
Made.
That was so easy.
Question number 2. How many friends do you like to have? A few close friends, or as many as you can?
Can I answer 0? Can I answer 0? So. I don't hate friends, it's super weird. Stop with your tick. You need a crunch. That crunch sound is what I need. Ooh, good job. Born for bad. Or is that born a bad? And I know people like using numbers as letters, but it's probably born for bad. What the frick does that even mean? Good job. I hope you are born for bad. Born for ill intent. I don't know. Few close friends. I feel so you're saying a few. So like about like 3 as a minimum. Bam. You know what? I will take a 1. I will take a 1. That's probably pretty okay. I'm once we start having more people, my existence is more requested, and I don't want that.
Question number 3. It's time to give a class presentation. How are you feeling? Horrible, you hate being the center of attention, or great, you love being the center of attention.
That's like a 2, because like I have a certain numbness about me where like I can do presentations nowadays. As a youngin, I would be like horrible, been like dreading it. I still do have a large amount of dread, of course. And I do not want to be the center of attention, absolutely. Like, that is not where I belong ever. That's just how it is. But, oh gosh, Rockertunity. But like, if it's a presentation, I know I have to do it, and if I have something to present, if I am not absent from class today because I didn't do my project, and I guess I'm just not going to finish this class because I'm terrible with procrastination and just executive functioning. Yeah, usually I'm just going to be a little awkward, and then once I get started going, like the numbness inside of me can grow and swell into I'm now speaking loud. It's kind of like how I do streaming and stuff like that. It's like I start off like, and then slowly over time my voice elevates, and now I'm actually speaking with volume. In fact, sometimes a little bit too much volume. My presentation skills never really reach like 5. I never feel like I'm thriving in the center of attention, but it starts pretty lowish and works its way up. But 2 is a great spot. I like 2. Did I answer 2? I answered 2. This is question 3, right? I think so.
Question number 4.
Yeah, that was question 3. Good.
For a path to the art cave, and an older student told you to follow this hallway. It's starting to get pretty dark though, and you're not sure where you are. Should you try a different route? They probably just wanted to mess with you. Or keep going. You're sure they know the way.
5. I mean, 5. Because I like exploring anyway. So even if like, oh, they pranked me, and now I'm going to the opposite side of the school or whatever. Whatever, I don't care. Like, that's don't feel personally let down in myself. I may be let down in someone else, that I don't have expectations for anyone else. So I filled. I'm totally filled. Any dropped? No dropped. 70. Good. 70. Time to mine that one. Anyway, yeah, so I was probably going to look on my own anyway. I was probably going to wander around uncertain. If you give me a direction, that takes off some of the weight for me of having to really think about what direction to start with, because there's the ADHD in my brain that says it wants to do so much of everything, and then there's the reality of knowing that I can only start with one thing, and so now I have choices, and it's like, I guess I will just ponder these choices for the next 20 hours. And wait a second, I haven't actually made a choice. Incredible. Is that incredible? That's pretty incredible. I love it. So having someone giving a nudge is useful. And I have, at this point, there's no expectations. Like, I don't care if they set me the wrong way. I'm not going to try a different route. Let's go where they recommended. That's a great thank you.
Question number 5. You found a powerful magical item while out exploring with a group you've just started getting to know. Do you keep it hidden from the rest of them, just in case, or tell everyone what you found right away?
Now, it always depends on, like, what I find. Probably leaning towards keep it hidden. I think I'm like a solid 2. Like, I don't... It really depends on what it is I found. And I don't know how to describe how this really depends on what it is I found, but like I feel, generally speaking, I would be filled with a little bit of trepidation, not like full like, no, it's just complete secret, super secret, but like a little bit of trepidation before willing to show people. I'm probably gonna want to like exhaust my curiosity before it ends up in everyone else's care before I get any, because like as soon as someone else cares about it, they're probably not going to care about it more than I do. They're going to care about it maybe on equal terms as I do, but never more than I do. And they're going to act out on those cares way more likely than I would. So it's just not going to end up in my hands anymore. And at that point, I'm just going to feel like, so I want to like exhaust all of my curiosity about it first. And then I don't mind sharing it with other people. What question is this? Question 5.
From the rest of them, just in case, or tell everyone what you found right away. Question number 6. At the end of the first year, how much do your classmates know about you? Very little. You keep that kind of information closely guarded, or pretty much everything.
Okay. But you're what?
Open book.
Open book. You said friends, right? How much do your classmates know about you? Very little. Very little. Absolutely very little. Did I mess up anything? No. Very little.
Question number...
Before we get on to question number a million, I should probably talk a little bit about that. I am very unrelatable. Relating to me is not easy to do because I dabble into anything and everything, but particularly if it's like not a relatable thing. I don't mean to be like so hipster about stuff, but I do have a tendency to find something that can be mine, so that like I get a chance to have very genuine thoughts about it before other people's own thoughts start to creep on in, and I don't know, it just like I want a little bit of space, and so I find the stuff that give me the space. I believe I'm guessing that this is why I am like so weirdly esoteric about my interests, but also my interests like come and go so fast. Like the strongest interests of mine, first off, are in this way that I was describing, where it's like, okay, I like video games. Now, before you start talking about your video games, I don't know them. I play Minesweeper and maybe a little bit of RuneScape, but if you ever heard of Wagyan, you ever heard of Romancing Saga 2? Oh, now you heard of Romancing Saga 2 because there's a bigger remake, but you're probably still not going to play that. Yeah, that's my zone. That's just like how I create myself. But also, there's a lot of things that like come and go. The fact that I've read books is unbelievable because I don't tend to do that. I enjoyed it. I read like 17 books plus some. in the course of 2 months, which is maybe not like an impressive pace, but for me who reads usually 0 books a year, yeah, that's a little bit of a something. I love reading, but I never took this up as a hobby. Just like baking, like I take that up as a hobby and then I drop it. Eventually, I will come back to it. Like I go bird watching and then I don't, and things are very temporally flickering in my life, and so it's really hard to want to share things because I don't want to be known as the guy who reads only for me to not read ever, or like anything, or like people are gonna want to like share like, oh, maybe you should read this, and it's like I'm not in the mode for that right now. You caught me at the not right time. Like my life was at the right time for reading when I accidentally started reading. You can't. I'm not very recommendable, so I'm not very engageable. I'm not really relatable. There's a lot that makes it really hard for me to want to share any of myself with anybody. I tend to keep alone because I am difficulty 10. Difficulty level 10 out of 5. Oh, I muted it. There we go.
Question number
I'm sorry, question number, whatever the heck you are. I have things to pick up.
7. It's free time and you see a dragon off sitting by themselves. Do you focus on your own things? It is free time after all. Or go talk to them.
Parallel play? Is this time for parallel play? I don't want to go talk with them, but I'm glad they're on their own. If they feel comfy on their own, I might be in the distance, you know, like observing while doing my own thing and just like taking on a little bit of like comfort and saying that it's okay to be alone. If that makes sense. It's just I don't want to engage. I really don't want to engage. So like definitely 4 or 5 is out of the question. Focus on my own things is strong. I might just be a 2. So like 2 to 3 is my zone, and I'm going to probably be a 2. In fact, like I'm often going to be a 1 in certain cases where it's like, okay, they're on their own, but they are clearly like lonely and they clearly want engagement. Well, then I'm not even going to like be open, visibly open. Like sometimes like I might be visibly open if everybody else is like busy doing their own thing with some other people, and it's like no one's gonna really want to engage me to grab me. I can just be open and like just like visibly doing my own thing wherever the heck. If, however, there are people that are seemingly seeking to be engaged with other people, I might find a corner to wallflower at because I don't need to be accessed. So I'm gonna just put it at a 2 because 1 to 3, this is a very flexible question, and for me, like my answer is very flexible. How am I at? Am I at 90? Very good, 90. Yeah, 2 sounds pretty nice.
Question number 8. You just caught another dragon trying to steal some of your food. You think the best thing to do is teach them a lesson the painful way, or ask them why
the painful way. Man, I want to inflict pain.
they're stealing food.
Why they're stealing food? I'm gonna let them know, like, I see you doing that. Like, you can have it. Like, I'm not like that hungry, but what the frick? Next time, ask. Like, just freaking let me know, like that. Like, what I have there seems enticing, and you would like to have some. Like, okay, absolutely, you can have a couple pepperonis off my pizza. Go for it. Like, I'm not gonna miss it. Go for it. Why are you stealing? Ooh, King Black Dragon. Are we gonna see that? Where are you running off to in confusion? Real. That happens when I'm playing on the phone, and then like you accidentally click somewhere because your whole screen's a touch screen, like you accidentally drop your phone when you pick it up. He's like, I'm running across the world, and I'm like, don't go across the world. I'm busy mining. I need to mine. I'm getting close to full again. Teach them a lesson. What did he say? The painful way, the hard way? What was that?
Question number 8. You just teach them a lesson.
The painful way. The painful way. So good.
Question number 9. Generally, you find other dragons annoying and bothersome to deal with, or easy to get along with.
Ambivalent. I don't care. Very ambivalent. I really don't care. Which sounds unfeeling.
You spotted a suspicious-looking dragon following you from a distance.
It's just, I've never felt lonely to my recollection, and in most sense of my life, I've dealt with lonely people, and this means I'm over engaged. I'm very introverted, so like I am overstimulated with speaking with people, and it really weighs me down. My social battery has been like in the negatives. I'm in the red in terms of my social battery for who knows how long. It makes it hard for me to feel for anyone else, but like if you talk with me, you'll realize I do still care about people. Like it's a really weird place to be, because I love people, but I need space. And so currently it's like, can I just go off and exist inside my mattress, not on top of my mattress and under my covers. I mean like inside, like bury myself, like dig into my mattress, like drill out a hole that's shaped like me, that I can crawl into my mattress and no one can find me, and I'm just alone for a little bit. But it's not that I hate people.
They're dragons, annoying, and
I don't find people annoying and bothersome. Sometimes maybe like a level 2 annoying and bothersome. People are always easy to get along with, and that's just because I'm like so easygoing, and people get along with me rather than the other way around. So I would put it like a 2 to 4 is kind of where I'm at, but like right now I'm at a hyper numb in my life, so that's the 3.
Bothersome to deal with, or easy to get along with. Question number 10. You've spotted a suspicious-looking dragon following you from a distance.
Yeah.
Do you keep flying and hope they go away, or turn around and confront them right now?
Like, I want to just keep going away, and like I know, generally speaking, I have a certain determination about me where like I will just keep going. Like if this is like hindersome for you to keep following me, then just stop, give up. I'm not gonna try to put myself into a position where like I'm cornerable or significantly alone, because I don't want this engagement. I really don't. So I will mostly hope that they're gonna go away, but like I will confront if it's like, okay, this tick is bothering me. Give me a bigger crunchy crunch. Oh, that's crunchy rock. I will confront if I need to, but that's when things are like looking like there's not going to be an opportunity for me to like lose them. Like I'm going to be more likely to be put into a worse position by trying to like outrun them. So I might as well engage them somewhere publicly. So it's like, what's up? Tell me. Like I'm not playing this game. We ain't like get on with it. But it's gonna be like a really, it's 2. It's weighted at 2. Like this is like my biggest hope. But like I will talk with you if you are being this kind of weirdo.
Question number 11.
It is happening. Look at it.
Isn't exactly
wow.
Clear where you're supposed to go next. You think it would be better to head into the
Sorry, I'm busy looking at a big fight. Look at this. This person's not even trying to be over there either. Wow, good job with your funny boss dungeoning. I need to try that boss dungeon again. Nice job, everybody. They're probably saying GL, GL, everyone, GL, 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 as they get their funny drops, and then they're like, good GL, good GL. I hope you have a GL getting whatever it is that you're doing this for. GL, everyone. It's really weird. I've never done like these wilderness events until like a week ago, maybe like a couple weeks ago. Very funny.
Question number 11. You're on a quest, and it isn't exactly clear where you're supposed to go next. You think it would be better to head into the mountains, but your friend thinks it would be better to head to the sea. Where are you gonna go? You head to the sea, and you're probably wrong about it anyways. Or, you're going to the mountains. You are certain you are right about this.
Depends. Okay, like, I give everyone time on the pedestal. Like, I do listen to people's recommendations, but like, if I am certain for whatever reason that my determination will pull it through sometimes, and like I will sit and argue if I do believe a certain thing that is being challenged. I'm gonna put that at a 3, I think, because depends on like how I'm feeling about it. Like how am I worded about this? You're not. And it isn't exactly clear where you're supposed to go next. So if it's like, if I'm feeling a whim, like it is the mountains, then I'm going to listen to someone who's got their own whim, because I'm not very insightful, intuitive on whim type deal things. So I'll let someone else deal with their whim, and they could be wrong. I don't care. I could be wrong too. I don't care. But like, if you got a whim, go for it. Like, I'm not. Oh, no, just one.
You think it would be better to head into the mountains, but your friend thinks it would be better to head to the sea. Where are you gonna go? You head to.
So I'm gonna actually put this at 2 as well. I will be more weighted towards their thing because I'm less likely to argue on something that I can't like actually have an argument with. Like if there's nothing that says like, oh, it has to be the mountains because blah blah and blah. If I'm just like, no, I'm pretty sure it's the mountain, then I'm not gonna say that. That there's no strength behind my argument. Sure, let's go to the sea. So is that a 1 or a 2? What am I feeling about that? I'm gonna look at how that's worded again.
And it isn't. Friend thinks it would be better to head to the sea. Where are you gonna go? You head to.
So, I just think if it's just like a whim, I feel like I should put a 1, but I'm gonna put a 2 because there are times when things aren't whims, and I have like something that I could, you know, put an argument in. But I'm like weighted to someone else usually, unless I feel like with evidence supporting my feeling that maybe we should try this first. I will put my argument out there.
The sea. You're probably wrong. Question number 12. Which fits you better? You often let others get what they want, even if it isn't what you want personally, or you're always sure you get your way.
Okay, this is actually a really weird question, because like, this is largely the reason why I don't want to open up to anyone. It's like, I do let others get what they want. Now, I never get my own way because of this, but I found like a workaround to get my own way, is to stay away from people. Bam. As soon as like I'm alone, I get what I want because no one is there to step in on my time. And I could allocate my time however I need to if I don't feel the weight of other people's expectations and pressures. So, and like, I really work hard towards that so that I can try to keep my balance, but I'm gonna put it weighted at 2. Again, man, how many at 2s have I put? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and here's another 6. Because the way I get my way is by avoiding others before they get what they want. They will get what they want if they're in my presence. And so I try to keep them away from my presence so that I can win by default. Not that I ever get what I want, but I just seek to win by default. And that's not a strong weighted I get my own way. That's more weighted towards they get what they want. So that's a 2. I do believe that's a 2.
Question number 13. How well are you doing in your classes at Jade Mountain Academy? You don't do so well in your classes. Or you're the best dragon in school.
That's a 3. That's a 3. I get by, and I'm not good at school. I will just make sure I'm passing. But I'm not gonna put in the effort to do my best or sufficiently well. I have a tendency to not do well, mostly because I don't do well with homework. Depends on like how Jade Mountain Academy does their stuff, because I don't know, I feel like I've never worked at like school, like at a dorm. I've never been to like on campus living. I wonder if that would help me, because then I get to kind of figure out a little bit of my own time. I would be having a dorm with 2 other people at Jade Mountain Academy. That's just how they dorm out there. Depends on who I'm with. I might not do well, or I might do well. But they also have a library, so if I do need to get something done, I have a quiet place to go to. I'm pretty sure it's just going to be a solid 3 to 4, honestly. I can do very well, especially when it comes to tests. If there's like no homework, like if I feel like I'm not home, and I'm not going to be at home because I'm at dorms. That's what I was trying to get at. I'm going to be at like Jade Mountain Academy. That's where I reside at this school while I'm doing this. So I feel like that would be a little bit more conducive to my studies, especially seeing people studying on the frequent. Dang. How close am I? This is getting so close to going to Zephyrium. 3 or 4. I'm gonna have to think about this a little bit, because I feel like I don't want to get hopeful, and I don't like getting my hopes up, so I want to stay at a 3, but like there is a hope in me that says 4. And I don't like this hope, because I don't want to go to school IRL, and this is making me think, like, is it real that you can do good at school? And it's like, no, it's not real. I'm lying to myself. It is real, you can do it good at school, even. I wonder, I bet. It depends on what year this takes place. If Jade Mountain Academy still exists for hundreds of years, I wonder if, and I'm certain over time, they probably would get good resources for those that are with learning disabilities, such as ADHD. I think I would easily reach 4 with appropriate resources, and if I use the resources, which is up in the air, kind of. Let's stay optimistic. I might choose 4. No, I'm gonna go 3. Absolutely, that's a solid 3. Is this question 14?
Question number 13. How well are you doing in your classes
I
at
left a
Jace
3.
Mountain Academy?
Okay, I'm glad I did a
You
3.
don't do so well in your classes. Or
because I have a tendency to not do well. Like, if I have that space, sometimes I'm going to use it instead of going to the library to study, which I'm probably not going to study. Okay, I won't study, guaranteed. Homework is a maybe, and that's setting myself up for failure. But like, beautiful, wonderfully, if I know like there's big quizzes and tests that are highly weighted, that's a lifesaver. And even without the studying, or minimal studying, I managed to do pretty well on tests and quizzes, and that, if it's weighted correctly, if it's weighted beneficially for someone like me who's not very good on the homework side of things, then yeah, that could be a lifesaver that really pulls me out of deep waters. But like, again, like my certain extra freedom might be like, oh cool, now I have like the space to like play games that I haven't played because I feel like this place is more open and free, and that means I can finally do what I want. And sometimes that can not be school. School might not be what I want, and that eats into my studies and homework, as I am already want to not do. So I'm just gonna keep it at 3 because, man, I will just get by, generally speaking. I have no qualms in failing stuff. It's really bad. Well, it depends on, like, I wonder if Jade Mountain Academy probably is like free, so there's that tendency towards failure. If like money is riding on the lines and like, oh, like my parents spent like a freaking tiny fortune to send me to school, but I'm pretty sure Jade Mountain Academy is not the United States of America. Then honestly, I think like that would actually be incentive to do good, and I would do good and maybe not learn very well, but I would succeed just out of like, I can't waste thousands upon thousands of dollars for school. I am strongly weighted at 3, because there's a tendency for either side depending on my situation, but in general, I just get by. This is how I was in high school. I just got by. I squeaked on through, and people were amazed that I got through, and I did. And I did really bad with homework, and boy howdy, detentions. Okay, let's talk about school for a little bit. Detentions are wonderful. Those were a lifesaver. When you don't do enough homework, you get in trouble, and sometimes you get detentions. And do you know what a detention is? It's time to do homework when you're not at home. You're at school still, and you need to do homework from there. The Desolate Isle is so good. Waterbirth Island, baby. Why is it so good? Why is this so good? I love this song. So anyway, what was I talking about with the detentions? Were like a thing that kept me fluctuating, because like I would do bad at homework, which would earn me detentions, which would make me do good at homework. And then I would not have the detentions that would make me do bad at homework again, and then the bad at homework causes me to get detentions. It's very sinusoidal. Like, people probably were like, what the frick is going on with this guy? I wonder how, like, teachers viewed me in school. Teachers cared about me. Like, I have a lot to say in discussions sometimes, especially like in high school. Like, I was like really starting to open up and actually start to have like a autonomous mind in a real existence, where I was like, wait a second, I am in this world and I am a individual. It's a weird moment of growing, but I was still very, very immature. But yeah, like I was starting to like know how to do things in classes better, and like teachers really liked me. They were like, man, this guy's cool. And that came from zero studies. Like, I don't study well, but like when I have the right atmosphere, and lectures are a right atmosphere for me. I actually really like lectures. I would sit down and listen well, and to my best, I would retain as much as I could. And okay, get that in my box. And I don't know, especially it seemed interesting. I've always loved. Well, actually, I shouldn't. Let's just move on. School is something.
You're the best dragon in school.
I had like
Question
maybe the best
14.
attendance in school. Question 14. How are we? Yeah, this is the penultimate. We just finished the antepenultimate. That's a word. You just learned. Oh.
Teen, you just learned that a special delegation of Skywings, including Queen Ruby herself, will be visiting the school soon, but you aren't sure why. Are you more likely to not worry about it at all, or spend hours?
Is this like the ADHD question? I'm about to do both. I will think about it for no reason. I'll be like, that's interesting. Well, I don't know if I'd care. It depends on, like, do I care? Because I can say that, like, I can spend hours thinking about things and also not worry at all about them if it's just interesting to think about. If my brain can latch onto something and be like, you know what, this is what you're thinking about now, and if that's exciting enough, would that be exciting? Let's try to think about this for a little bit. Queen Ruby is interesting. Is she interesting to, like, just anybody from, like, any perspective? A little bit, but that's because of what happened in the Skywing Kingdom. But royalty makes it, like, a little bit less interesting. However, Queen Ruby is actually a really interesting queen, considering how much she's doing for her kingdom in, like, such a direction compared to the previous queen. I'd think about it a bit. I'd think about it quite a bit, I think. I would probably be wondering how I can observe what I can. Especially, is this a 3 or a 4? I don't want to put a 3 and I don't want to put a 4. But, like, I feel like it's like I'm not worried about it, so I want to put a 3. Because I don't want to put a 4, but I want to spend a lot of time thinking about it, actually. Like, I really do. Especially because that's going to be a lot more interesting than the homework that I have, I'm pretty sure. And it's just going to, like, pop up in my head, unannounced and just as it wants to, just like, hey, I'm here now, and it's like, yeah, she's gonna, and I'm gonna hear people talking about it, and I'm gonna be unable to stop myself from hearing people talking about it, and I'm gonna be like, okay. I'm just gonna be like, I guess I'm thinking about it again, and then I'm gonna be distracted from my studies that I'm not doing anyway. It's gonna, it's a 4. I'm really thinking about it. I'm really thinking about it. I'm not worried, but I'm thinking about it. I guess not worry at all is not saying that, like, it just, like, it doesn't have any weight in your mind. 4, I'm taking that strongly, not because, like, there's actually the worry feeling, but, like, there is definitely a lot of thinking about that. If it was a little bit more of an interesting topic than just, like, a person, Like if it was an event we were talking about, that would be definitely like a 5. But the fact that it's a person makes it a little bit lesser. But the person's interesting means it stays pretty solid in the 4 zone. Yeah. I mean, how much would I know about... I mean, that probably gets around, especially like out of school, where we're trying to learn about all the other... Yeah, I'd be thinking.
They're coming.
4.
Question number 15. If something doesn't make sense to you, you accept that it doesn't make sense and move on, or you think about it until you figure it out, no matter how long it takes.
What's the question again? Something doesn't make sense to you. See, that's the challenge. Like, there's some certain things that, like... How do I think about this? I feel like I am weighted higher on this, like, towards the 4 and the 5 zone.
If something doesn't
make sense to you,
you accept that it doesn't make sense and move on,
no.
Or you think about it until you think...
I'm out of the... This is out of the question. 1 is not there. Nope, not a 1. Wow, that was, like, flickery. How did I do that? That was oh. Yeah, flickery, ha ha ha. I am victorious. Hey, you know, that didn't make sense to me. I had to figure it out. But, I feel like this is another question of how neurodivergent are you? Which makes sense because if you're gonna talk about these dragons in this book, it makes sense that you'd ask this questions considering, especially there are a lot of, especially in the particularly a particular character in Arc 3 is a I have to figure this out, I have to. But there's characters that tend to be this way. Not even just in Arc 3. I know Arc 2, Arc 1, yeah, there's characters that are like this. Give me the question again.
Question number 15.
Something doesn't make sense to you. Something doesn't make sense to you. I need to fill up my box? Oh, I should have known that was gonna happen. I was sitting there doing nothing for who knows how long. Yes, I'm 7 damage. Try to figure it out. I feel like I'm heavily weighted on this one. I would want to figure it out, but like, at what point do I give up? I do give up. I feel like I'm easy to give up. It depends on how little it makes sense. No, does it? Does it, though? Here's the thing. I was a math person in my earlier school years, and I love math, even still now. My brain is a little bit weak, and I can't really math very well at this point anymore. But when I was in resource class in high school, for being a problem child, not a problem child, but like learning disabilities and whatnot, and some other people had questions about like I loved resource. Resource was like a freaking study hall for us people that were special. And so I mean, like, yeah, it's like one of those detention type of deal things, except that it was a little bit different than a study hall or detention because I was often approached by the resource overlooker, the teacher for my resource class, to help others with their math. And like, it was nice because our resource class was in like a good like classroom, and I was able to like, you know, lead them over to like the whiteboard or chalkboard and write out like an example question and explain to them why we use the formula, and explain to them like, hey, so I know you know that you need to plug this formula in order to solve the thing, but why are we plugging in this formula? If you look at this part of the formula, this is representing this part of what we're trying to solve. This is affected by this, and that's why this part of the formula is specifically squared or this is what we are doing to the numbers. This is what we're figuring out. And I would like explain to them. It's a lot hard, especially with my tiny brain now. Like I don't know how to like articulate anything anymore, especially in terms of math. Like I have like a raisin in my brain zone. My skull, it has crinkled and crumpled. It's so bad at this point. But like I would sit there like and like on their level, kind of explain what it is we're doing rather than like, you know, just give an answer, because like I knew as a rule follower I can't just like take your thing and give you the answer for you. So like that's why I was approached and would end up being the person to like kind of explain certain math problems, because like I'd be like, oh yes, I love this formula, see, because this formula does this for us, and I would know that because I cared about word problems, you know? I really liked word problems. Everyone hated word problems. And I'm like, dude, give me applications. That helps me grasp what it is that I'm learning this for. That helps me grasp what it is that that you're asking me to try to do. I don't know what I'm trying to do. You just gave me like a bunch of words and my brain shut down. But now that there's a word problem, I am able to puzzle out what it is that this is useful for. I don't know. There's like a lot of like kind of backwards thinking that like reverse engineering the teacher's lectures, or not even like that, like just reverse engineering the teachings that are trying to be given to us through word problems that really help me to teach myself alongside the teacher, because I cared about what the teacher was saying, but like word problems are a great way to help you teach yourself why it is you want to know how to do whatever with whatever formula. And at that point, like I was actually really helpful for people, especially in resource classes, and it was just yeah. So why am I even saying this? Like, what is this? What is this? It suddenly doesn't make sense to you. I'd like to figure it out. I do like to figure it out. But when do I give up is the question, because I know I do. Well, it depends on like what else is expected of me. If I have the freedom to figure something out, I'm gonna figure out a Rubik's cube. Never figured out a Rubik's cube because you know what? I never figured out a Rubik's cube. I should, but they don't engage me as much as some other stuff. So I'm gonna say maybe like 4.5, which I'm gonna maybe weight as 5 because it just rounds up that way. But as a kid, it was cool to play games on the computer, especially educational games. But I'm not gonna be talking about Jumpstart and Clue Finders. I want to talk about there's other games on the computer that we had. So there was like Solitaire, and like I feel like I got a bigger grasp on Solitaire from the computer than I did from being taught how to play that from my siblings, because we had a lot of Solitaire in this household. But it wasn't until like I was like able to just, I mean, we had a deck of cards, I could do it myself, but the fact that like the rules are just kind of built into the computer version, it's like, yeah, okay, I gotcha. I figured this out like for real now. I've solidified it in my brain. But there was Minesweeper. Ooh, Minesweeper. Ooh, Minesweeper. 1 second. Let me see something really fast. Ah, jeez, I gotta click that really fast. Let me see something really fast. Desktop. Where's desktop? How do I? There's desktop, and then I scroll down until I see. Where are you at? I found you. I knew you were gonna do that soon. Minesweeper is a game that I remember booting up a couple times, kind of like some other games on there. I know there was like a, what is it called? I forget. There was another game, like a card game that interests me. Spider Solitaire I taught, I think, almost exclusively myself because I didn't have the ability to play Spider Solitaire with my current deck of cards. There was another card game that I didn't find too interesting, but I was starting to slowly figure it out. Minesweeper, though, I figured this out all on my own. It was pretty incredible how I was like starting to see like these numbers, and it was just, it had to mean something, right? And like, I just kept guessing a lot until I started to notice like slight patterns, and I kept paying attention to the numbers because the numbers had to mean something. But what did it mean? And slowly, eventually I deduced that like the numbers meant, because here's the thing, like it seems pretty obvious, but realize that I was very little at the time. Like you would think I would need to have an explanation, like as like a tiny little 5-year-old or whatever, whenever I figured this game out. But because this was at a time where I was scared to use the internet too, mind you. Like I would be playing what's it called? Jumpstart, like kindergarten or something. And like there's occasionally some of these games would have like a button that would like lead you to a certain web page or something. And like I would always be like, Mom, Dad, like I don't know what the heck this is. It brought me to a website and I don't want to touch that. I'm very scared. I don't like it. Dang it. There we go. And so I was scared of the internet, and I feel like most of my siblings did not understand the game either. My brother apparently did. Because by the time I started like playing this game a lot, because I wanted to understand it, and I did begin to understand it, not like that I was playing expert or anything. I didn't. I started with the easy one, and that was great. You know, I'm glad that this game has like those options that really helps you start somewhere good and like slowly work your way up. Because that really was a big, huge learning step for me. Sorry, I'm very focused on this at this moment. Oh man, dang. One of these is good and one of these is bad, which means that that one's bad guaranteed. Oh, I love Jungle Hunt. Oh my gosh, this is on my like playlist, and so was like Desolate Isle and stuff. We're getting some jams, even with like the full playlist at its availability. Nice. Nice. Okay, so this one of these is good and one of these is bad, which makes that safe. That makes, there we go, beautiful. Nice. Okay, now we got 4 mines left. I'm gonna mess this up. So one of these is good and one of these is bad. One of these is good and no, 2 of these are good and one of them is bad. One of these is good and one of these is bad, which leaves only one bad in these 5. It's right there. Because if that was a 1, that could have been very telling to me. That would tell me that the underneath it was safe. And then like I would figure out a little bit more and start to work my way from there. Anyway, this is a game that I had taught myself because it just it had numbers, and I loved numbers even at that young age. I was like, I love numbers, and I really want these numbers to mean something, and this is a video game. It has to mean something. And it's like, oh, is it, are we calling Minesweeper a video game these days? Yeah, I definitely thought that as a video game as a kid, and I still do to this day. Technically it is. You know, no. But like, that I would be playing that instead of like Crash Bandicoot meant there was like a certain strength in me desiring to know what the heck it meant. It was just too filled with numbers. I had to. There is something going on here. And I eventually sniffed out the fact that, yeah, okay, so the number can be 1 when there's like a 1 mine near there. And like slowly I started to realize the power of like the right click. Like, ooh, right click can give a flag or a question mark. Oh, and like just like things started to cascade slowly, and again, like I started playing this a whole lot because I was like, yes, wait a second, the flags are probably to mark, and because I had already some wins under my belt. Whenever you're playing, let me see, let's go back here. Do. Can you like just win on pure luck? I mean, absolutely you can win on pure luck. I mean, I can't look at it with my kid eyes anymore. Like I'm already like, at this point, like I was like kind of trying to randomly click, but then I saw these two, and I'm like, and I saw the corner, and I saw like that these two are mines both right here because there's a 1 right above, and I'm like, oh, I'm starting to see stuff that I can't. I actually figure things out. Like, this is a 2 because this can't be. It's hard to describe. Okay. So let's think about this for a second. 3 of these are bad, right? 3 of these are bad. This is my advanced Minesweeper that has come with age. 3 of these are bad, and 1 of them is good. There is no configuration that could possibly work without one of these 2 being good, because if this is good, that means that this 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 are bad. That means mine, and that means that this 1 is a lie. This 1 has to have only 1. So it has to be that 2 are here because one of these has to be good, because the 3 cannot satisfy with 2 mines here without making a liar out of this 1. And then bonus, you get the bonus of satisfying this 1, because yes, okay, there's 2 for the 3 down here, but then the last of the 3 has to be one of these 2 that are next to the 1. That means there's a mine already next to this 1. Bam, that's for free. That is for free right there, baby. Anyway. So, I wonder if I can eventually get my victory. Can I? Is there a way to new game? F2. Quit and start a new game. Nope. So you can see that like some of them really open up, and you can get it like a lucky game, even as a kid. Oop. But there is a possibility, and maybe not in this version, maybe in the older versions. Really ruining my statistics. I don't care about my statistics for beginner. I'm going full ADHD on this Minesweeper. I'm very... You know how like there's people out there that are like, hey, I am very normal about such and such topic, whenever they are clearly like highly obsessed or hyper focused on something. They're like, oh, I'm so normal about this. Boy howdy, Don't be saying that. Don't be saying that. Just go ahead and say, I am extremely neurodivergent about freaking Minesweeper, my dudes. So brained out here. There is a possibility, and I really want to see if it's possible. Because there's only 10 mines, and it's really funny, like, whenever the mines just align themselves. Oh, there's a 4! And that was a cool thing, always, like, seeing that there's, like, 3 and 4s, and realizing, like, wait, there's 3, but, like, okay, it can't be. And, like, there's that little logic in my tiny brain of mine. Oh my gosh, as, like, a tiny, tiny, tiny person, younger than, like, most of my nephews. Half of my nephews, I should say. I only got... No, I could say most of my nephews, because I have 3 nephews and a great nephew, and if you want to count the great nephew, then that was younger than half of my nephews at the time. Ooh. We are at 100. I'm gonna need to get a 10 to offset my stuff. But yeah, I started to see, like, there's 3, but it's that 2 of them already open up, so this can't be a 3. When I started to figure out that, like, okay, 1 means that 1, and when you learn that diagonals count, then, like, that's when the power of, like, yes, I know corners now, which means, like, okay, 1, okay, click, click, and I would always do the regular click, click. You see me do things like this nowadays, where I don't even click on the thing underneath it. I click right here, or I can double click, for example, and that will open up anything surrounding this 1. And maybe that's also a really helpful thing when I started to realize that you could do this, and, like, I was like, oh my gosh, look at this big old thing. And then, like, I would try to click and it wouldn't work. And, like, I started seeing this X. Like, what does that mean? There's so many mysteries to Minesweeper that once you start to question things, you understand that this game is, like, magnificent. Percentage is 37%, baby. That's better than my advanced. Simian scuffle. Do no evil. Sounds, yeah. You can win on an open, and I spent time to do this as a kid because I have problems. Man, I'm just seeing, like, most of the setups in this, and it's just, like, so baby, like, it's just, like, so baby now. It's wonderful. It's, like, wonderful, baby, but like, that's what I'm talking about. Like, it's really good learning, and then, like, whenever I first beat my first intermediate, oh my gosh, that was hype. Can I win? Do I already have a win? Six seconds is my best. I didn't want to click there. 9 seconds. Can I click that open? Man, this is the wrong monitor for me to be playing this game. Like, I've been doing a lot of misclicks. That was really slow. This song is really good. Six seconds, that's pretty good. That's a pretty good time. It's hard also to realize, like, I don't need to mark everything, and so, like, I have a tendency to want to mark everything. Let's do this. Let's get that 0 second win. How's my inventory looking? That's perfect. That's not perfect. That's just... No, that was perfect. Good. I thought so. I was like, wait, 4, because that is 6. And I'm like, is that 6? No, that's 7. But like, there's this guy here. That's not 7. It's 6. That is correct. So now I have the offset. I just need 2 more full inventories of 20. And that should be done with this and move on to... I forget... Fractite, I believe, and... Promethium. I wonder if this is set to never open on a win. If I have to do an older version of Minesweeper in order to open on a win. I'd be happy about that. Because I like the challenge of Minesweeper, and I don't want to have like any sort of handicap in my favor, kind of, I guess. What is it that I don't want? It's like... I don't mind... Minesweeper has a lot of unfortunate occurrences and stuff like that, so like even when I play the Game Boy Minesweeper, I don't even mind when I open up on a mine. And it's like, oh, I lost. Time to start again. Especially since I'm not like ruining any like computer Minesweeper statistics. And even then, like, I still ruin my Minesweeper statistics when I try to do a very fast game of like advanced. Come on. I can totally get a game where I win. That was so close. Sometimes it opens up the same game. I've been noticing this like multiple times, and it's like, stop doing that. I wonder if like this version of beginner has like a very large list of curated configurations. And it always starts, so this Minesweeper is nice. It always starts on a 0, guaranteed, every single time. And this even works for advanced. Always opens up on a 0, and sometimes the 0 can be like surrounded by numbers. And you have like a really, just a pitiful amount of clues. Like there's just not enough to figure anything out because it's just like opened up 9 squares. There's a 0 and several numbers around it. Which I always wondered, like I figured, as a kid, my little kiddie brain always like figured these as like bubbles. I opened up like a big bubble because it opens up like a funny circle that's surrounded by like a contour of things. And it took me a long time to realize like, oh, the reason why it does that is because it's a 0 and it automatically opens up everything around a 0. And then if there's a 0 that it opens up everything around that 0. And then if that opens up a 0, it opens up everything. And so it automatically cascades into a series of like opening up so many things. But it just, I don't know, I always called it a bubble. Like, look at how I opened a bubble. A really big bubble, and I get like really excited about bubbles sometimes, but why am I playing on this difficulty again? I love Minesweeper, man. That's problematic. let me have very many opens to solve on this side of things. It's a lot of guessing. This 3 is like one of my best opportunities because only one of these is safe, and that's not good information. So now, or not one of these is, only one of these is bad. So now it's down to like there's a 33% chance where I just straight up die if I click here. Ah, I should have clicked there. I should have believed in the 3, but instead I tried the 50-50, and that messed me up. That was a lucky guess. I appreciate the lucky guesses near the start. It's always good. Very fun configuration happening around there. Oh, I'm liking how that looks. One of these is bad. I mean, if one of these is good and one of these is bad, which means that this has to be safe and these have to be safe. Very nice. Very nice. That made that very delicious for me. Wonderful. Nice open spot. Awesome. There's a lot of opportunities for like some really nasty forced guessing, and that was so beautifully like subverting the trap. It really set it up and then said, nah, time to dissolve it immediately, which was wonderful. I love it. Okay, now there's only one, which means it has to be one of these two. It was, yay! I win. How many wins do I have? 832. Yeah, okay, maybe that was what I wanted to do. I wanted to look at, like, you know, my win percentage is pretty good. 133 seconds, not phenomenal. But this is a game I figured out solo. There's only one thing that I've actually saw online because I felt like really confident about it. I'm like, let me see if there's like any tips online, if like I already know all the tips. And then I saw that I didn't. I learned one thing. But it was nice to see that. And there's probably more tips out there like this, which I probably should look for rather than like holding on to my pride. Anyway, so I have games won 832 divided by 5,000, sorry, 5,765. 5,765, yeah. So I'm like at a 14.43. That's gone down a very, very small smidge. I remember when I was at like 14.44, but I've been going like really fast, and 133 seconds is not really fast for me. That is not fast. My fast is more along the lines of like barely over 100. I even got, believe it or not, like I had two 2024s. There was a 107 here earlier that was a 2024 before getting at 105 again. I've already got a 105 and I have two 104s, two 105s, and that kicked out my other 2024 victory. Like, man, 98 seconds, I can't believe I have a 66 longest losing streak, but a winning streak of 5 is unreal to me. I had a 3 or a 4 of recent, and I was like, holy moly, it feels nuts. But yeah, so speed. Oh, no, I should have kept it open. Because, I'm going to see. Right here. So 1, 2, 1 means that the 2 is immediately perpendicularly adjacent to a safe spot. Because the 2, again, it's a similar situation. I can't reset. I don't want to ruin my statistics. I was going to start the same game and click somewhere in this zone so that I can open up to here again. But, again, like if this was a covered block, there's only so many configurations that this 2 can experience that would satisfy the 2. There'd be a 1 mine here, 1 mine here, and free spot. There could be a 1 mine here, free spot, and a 1 mine here, which it clearly is. Or there could be a free spot, mine, and mine. However, if the mine is here and the mine is here, that makes this a liar. If the mine is here and the mine is here, that makes this a liar. So the only way that 1s can surround a wall with a 2 sandwiched in between the 1s, if there's a wall or a ceiling or a floor and it goes 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1 like that, then in order to not over satisfy the 1s, there has to be a gap guaranteed right in front of the 2, right in the middle, sandwiched in there, bam. And then it's wonderful because a lot of times you'll get a 2 right here after realizing that this 2 can only be fed by these, and then you get 3 free opens, and then you get another 2 and you're like, oh, 3 more free opens, and then it just opened up a 0, so bam, it's beautiful. I love doing that. Let's finish this game. Probably it happened again. I love it. I'm glad it immediately fed me that whole situation that I really wanted to show off. I like noticed that online when I was like, I wonder if there's any tips for the game, and if I already know them all. I saw that tip. I didn't even see the explanation. I just figured out the explanation on my own. Explanation. And that's kind of going back to what I was talking about with like me being like a resource class tutor, where I like to be able to like kind of that is this. That's me trying. I mean, that's exactly why I brought up Minesweeper in the first place. I did solve how to play Minesweeper without like a manual or anything like I'd have for Crash Bandicoot or whatever. I solved it out of my own curiosity and my willing to study it and to like kind of critically assess what the heck it is I'm looking at, which again, like that's freaking nuts to me as a young kid that I was like critically assessing to that degree and was able to suss out what the heck this game meant. I don't know how I did that. It's freaking crazy. 2 of them are good. So this is like a 50-50. Bad. Too bad. I do like to figure out things that don't make sense, especially when there's clues. If I can troubleshoot, I like to troubleshoot. Okay, there's a big word for this. I like to troubleshoot. If it looks like something can make sense, and if it looks solvable, even if it requires a lot of work, and even if I'm a little person and little tiny brain, I do want to put in the effort to solve it.
You accept that it doesn't make sense and move on, or you think about it until you figure it out.
And then here comes the question again. When do I give up? I'm gonna just say I'm a 5 on that one. But generally, I think that I am a 4.5. I will give up, and I don't know why. First off, that's partly just ADHD, being like, okay, well, time to give up. And it's like, why did I do that? I didn't want to do that, but like there's something inside of me that just shuts off on its own without like my okay. It just kind of goes ahead and says, it's time for me to shut up. I'm gonna shut off. Bye. And I'm like, no, come back. I really wanted to. And it's like, no, it's too late. I shut off. And I'm like, no, come back. I really want to. And it's like, there's like a certain weirdness to brains, which is why this book series has been a joy.
No matter how long it takes. Alright, those are all of the questions. Check out the results tab to see which character you are most like, and let everyone know who
I got Tinkle-Stinkle! Oh my gosh! Why are you gonna do a second ellipses? You can't just do a 4 dots like that. No, we did 4 dots right there, you You freaking illegal person! Why would you do that? Why would you do that? Don't do that! Oh gosh.
I got I was so excited to see that. I really didn't think I would. And also, if you're feeling really spicy.
Oh, I can't wait to see how you are compared to me. You are a 3-4-4. Yeah, you're. Oh boy, that was very opposite of me. 3-5-4. Not opposite. Pretty dang opposite. Pretty dang opposite. So yeah, we're very opposite in a few things. 2. Opposite on 8 and 3. Other than that, section 3, we're like. What was 8?
So you can take
okay, 526. Question 8 was you just caught another dragon trying to steal some of your food. Oh, you. You were teaching a lesson! The painful way! Oh, you special person. Oh, man. Let's put that in there. Anything dropped? Nope. Yeah, it is fractite. I knew it. Promethium I knew because that feels special to me because of Demonheim was something I mostly did after already having like the ability to mine Promethium. So I didn't really ever get a chance to learn what other of these that I dealt with. I just wanted to go for the highest tier out here in non-Demonheim, on the Demonheim Peninsula, but like like inside the depths of Demonheim, dungeoneering, delving. These ores are useless on their own. They only are used to completely combine into primal bars. So one of each of these, that's 10 ores. Usually you need 2 ores in order to make a bar, whether it's like 1 copper and 1 tin in order to make a bronze bar, or like an iron and an iron in order to make an iron bar, a runite and a luminite in order to make a runite bar, or a bainite and a bainite in order to make a bainite bar. So some of these things require 2 ores, one that is like the actual metal and one that is a catalyst such as coal or luminite, that type of thing. And then there's other ones that are like, okay, well, there's a lot of impurities in iron, so you can either like make steel by having like a coal to burn out those impurities and make a very pure version of iron, or you can keep it like an impure metal and just put in 2 of the bars of iron in order to make an iron ingot, or they're called bars in this game. But this one, so yeah, like 2 bars equal, or 2 ores equals 1 bar, and there's 10 of these Demonheim ores around the Demonheim Peninsula. So whenever you put in 1 of each of these ores, you're gonna get, well, 10 divided by 2 bars. You get 5 primal bars. And so I'm trying to have at least 5,000. I'm gonna have 1,000 of each of these ores. I already have 850 of each ore in my bank, and so 150 is how much this box can fill up. As you can see, I stopped at 150 for both Zephyrium and, well, not both, all so far. Zephyrium, Cratonite, and what's the other one called? I don't know these things. And Argonite, Catagon, not even Cratonite. Okay, I don't know where I don't know where that's at. I don't know these ores except for Promethium, basically. And even now that they're in the game proper, it's just, I'm not learning them. I just know that I need to get them all. Instead of just get the best one, now I need to get them all. And so that's not helping me learn which of these ores are what. I know Promethium's the highest, Gorgonite is the second highest. I know Novite, like Novice, Novite is the lowest. I know that Bathos is the next one up, so Bathos is number 2, and Marmaros, what is it called? Yeah, Marmaros or I don't know. I know Marmaros is a dude, and so I wanted to know where he kind of stood as like the Mr. Cower man over by the entrance to Demonheim, who sells you, you know, the smuggled equipment out of Demonheim. He's, and you know, you do some cool sagas with Thok and Marmaros. It's interesting. I like the adventures that happen inside of Demonheim. Anyway, so I wanted to know what his ore was, and the ore that is named after him is tier 3. It's kind of low, but that's fine. I was kind of going to expect a little bit lower, because when compared to Thok, you would think like this would be called Thokium ore or something like that, you know? Melodrama is a good song. I used to have this in my notes. This is like, is this Taverley area? Like, where is this? Castle Wars, man. It's been a while since I've been around Castle Wars. I wonder if that OSRS version of this is any different. Is this in old school? Because I don't remember this song except how I remember it right now, because so back in ye old days of RuneScape 3, so this is sounding like really, really dumb all of a sudden that I'm saying ye old days, and I'm also talking about RuneScape 3, not old school. Now I'm not even talking about old school, the one that has old in the name. I'm talking ye old days with RuneScape 3. Anyway, whenever we had a playlist in this, it never used to be a playlist of 100. It used to be like a playlist of like 10 or something, and then it boosted itself up to 30, and I was so happy. But I still heard songs like Melodrama a lot, and that's not even in my top 30, but it was one of the ones that I added to my playlist pretty early on, and I had struggles to get it out of my playlist. Someone got the Master Quest cape. Oh my gosh. Lord. Oh wait, Verli. I was like, why is his name Lore Verli? But is that Ior? Iore? No, for becoming a Master of Quest and Lore. Verli. Good job with your Master Quest cape. So yeah, it was a huge thing to finally get a playlist that can hold 100, and I kind of want a bigger playlist. Or multiple playlists, honestly. Give me 2 playlists, and I will curate them both to give like a couple different feels. And some that have like exclusive songs, and you know, across the 2 of them there might be some non-mutually exclusive, like, hey, this belongs in both. Honestly, this song is good enough where it should be in both. But mutual exclusivity is a good thing to think about when you're playing Minesweeper. I think I was only able to understand that concept when I was in school because of Minesweeper. Hee smiles. Should have paid attention when this was 10. Now I'm just gonna make the offset right away. There we go. Nice. Okay, continue. Come on. OSRS, Melodrama, How does this sound old school? Sounds better. Sounds better already. I like this already better. I'm infecting my recommendations with Wings of Fire and RuneScape music. I mean, RuneScape music from RuneScape music makes sense. Oh, the song is so much better as OSRS! Ah, wow! Ah. It's funny that I have preferences on both ends. You would think someone who... Yeah, I played in 2006, in late 2006 at that, so I'm like, you know, whenever you think about like, oh yes, before OSRS, like people were like on like those like 07 scape, before RuneScape itself was like, actually here you go, you guys love old school so much, like we'll give it to you and we'll call it old school. We don't call it 07 scape, especially since it is moving forward just like RuneScape 3 is moving forward. So like there's a weird branch, but what was I even talking about? Oh yeah, so like I've been playing for long time, not like never. 06 isn't like saying like I'm really grandfathered from a long time ago, or like this guy doesn't even have like the 15-year cape. My first main, this is my new main. My first main has the 15-year cape. But there's a lot of people that have like a 20-year cape and stuff. Like there's a lot of people that have been playing this since like RuneScape Classic. And so you would think someone like me who cares about nostalgia, honestly. I don't rely on nostalgia though, so like, I don't... Nice teleport. I love that one. And he did it the slow teleport way too. That's special. You're special. I love you. Yeah, you would think I would like most of the songs in the OSRS fashion, but then we hear a rat hunt, and I'm like, oh, rat hunt, I love you, but there's something special about the way that it's done now. And then there's other songs that I just love that would not have worked in MIDI format. Is that how you say MIDI? M-I-D-I? Is that how you pronounce it? Am I sounding like an idiot because I don't know anything? I like how this one, it has no care of going a little uncomfy. This part does not feel easy to swallow, and I appreciate that. Like, it feels off-key, but like beautifully, perfectly off-key. Like right now, it's like, oh, it's beautiful, ha ha ha. And I like some of the beautiful songs that now exist in RuneScape 3 as just like RuneScape 3 songs. Like I don't think Wander Waltz would. I wonder if someone has done an OSRS version, an OSRS take on Wander Waltz. Yeah, no, it's just there's Wander, which is good. Oh, you can't go wrong with this. This is freaking. This is nostalgia. I like how weird RuneScape music is in general, though. It kind of does whatever it wants, kind of like Sims music, where it kind of just feels like it's freeballing it the whole way through. And even like, okay, we have like this weird sounding it's a lot of like going all over the place for a while, but then it repeats again with these little harpsichordy sounding. Like it's willing to repeat, but it goes for long stretches before it repeats. It doesn't like find it's like here's 4 measures, and then we go that 4 measures for the next 16 to 32 measures. Just keep hearing these before we finally are allowed like a refrain or a bridge or whatever the frick. And I love how it slowly likes to add things. RuneScape cares about the slow build-ups, and that's one of the reasons I love slow build-ups. That's one of the reasons why I kind of hate this one song. This one song that people may have heard. This one song. Does this have a slow build-up? It's like just 2 minutes long, man. That was your build-up. It's jaunty, it's fun, I love this song. I'm not gonna not love this song. I just don't want to hear it anymore. I don't want to hear anyone talk about this ever again, because we've already talked this thing to death and beyond. Let me analyze this. What else is going on? This is probably loud. I should probably lower it, shouldn't I? It has... No, it's kind of just... Yeah, this one's built more formulaically, which is fine. I'm not saying that it's a bad thing inherently. does this really good on the side. I don't think this ever plays alongside the main melody that we like from the song. And I like how it plays in my right ear this time. Is that right? Did I play in my left ear at first? Did I not play it? That's mostly in my left ear. That's mostly in my right ear. It's like right weighted and left weighted. It's still like, that's important that you can have something like in one ear and in the other ear, or like move from pan from left to right or something like that. But like, don't make it like jarringly weird or like unable to be listened to with only one earbud on. So I mean, like, good job, Ian Taylor. You know what you're doing. Okay, so it has swelled into something a little bit bigger here. It does have a little bit more playing. It is still RuneScapey. It doesn't really travel. It stays jaunty like the entire way. Which, you know, that's fine. It's not too bad. But like, one of the songs I really like of recent is Wayward. So like, this is 2 minutes and 7 seconds. This song doesn't even get started until like 2 minutes and 30 seconds. This is a really long build-up song. Do, 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 bang, bang. And it's just really awkward and uncomfy. It's so funky too. Ding, ding. It's such a weird song. Bum 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 bum. And it feels like, okay, this is building up to something. About a minute in. Dun 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 da 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 dun da dun da da dun dun da 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 dun. Do 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 do. It still feels like it's building up. Do 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 do. Not anymore. At this point, you're tearing a bit. Do do. Oh, it's building up this time. Oh, it's building up. Are we going somewhere? Not really. We're not going anywhere. These freaking ridiculous drum percussion things. And so we're back to build up, and it's like it's taking its time. But it has grown from last time it was building up with this. It is doing a little bit more. And now they're actually at the build up. So now we're already like longer than Sea Shanty 2, and it hasn't like gotten to this upcoming part yet. Get ready. This part is low-key nuts. It doesn't go bombastically nuts, it just is nuts. It doesn't have to be loudly nuts, it just has to be itself nuts, and it feels so nice, it feels wonderful. I can't reach some of the high notes at this point. I should have like. And also I'm gonna get out of breath. I need some water too. It's one of those manifested energy. Oh, I was standing on top of it. It's one of those things where you can't follow along unless if you've heard this before. It doesn't feel formulaic. It goes freaking freeform like nuts, and I love it. Beetle diddle doon, diddle diddle doon. Battle diddle dun, daddle diddle diddle dun, daddle diddle dun, battle diddle dun. Bum bum ba ba da ba da ba bum ba 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 bum ba da ba bum ba bum bum ba ba da bum bum ba 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 bum ba ba da bum. Do 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 do. Where does this play? Zogre Dungeon. Freaking crazy percussion. And so, like, it really had, like, one moment where it popped off, and how long does it pop off for? Someone talking about the pop-off point? 2:28, yes, of course. Someone liked it. Good. I love this. Yeah, I like this part. An underappreciated jewel. I second that. So it was about 50 seconds of beautiful payoff for something that's like 5 minutes and 40 seconds long. It's a very, like, relatively short payoff for all of that build up and all of the build down. I mean, like, it doesn't even build down, like it rides out. So it build up and rides out with like one spectacular payoff. And that spectacular payoff isn't nearly as bombastic as, what's it called? Sea Shanty 2. And you have to wait longer than Sea Shanty 2 for it to even get started. 2:28, you said? When it gets started? Yeah, so Sea Shanty 2. Are you 2 minutes and 28 seconds long? Are you? Are you? Oh, you're not. You're only 2 minutes and 8 seconds long. So in the time that it takes for this song to do its full course, which, I mean, this song is 2004. How old is this song? 2005. So, I mean, there could have been some growth from Ian Taylor. Or perhaps, like, I don't know. I mean, like, when you're as prolific as Ian Taylor, or any of these RuneScape musicians, how am I? I'm at 50. Almost 70. I mean, like, you're allowed to not, like, make every song a freaking gosh dang magnum opus. And, like, gosh dang Ian Taylor, like, listen to me. You don't need to make everything a magnum opus. You made so many good songs. Like, stop it. Slow down. Like, so, like, I appreciate, like, a small song that just kind of goes hard with little care to build up or anything, like, and have like the big substance of the other ones. I'm not saying that it's not a good song. I just feel like some of these other songs have a bigger journey, and that's what I mean when I say, like, you know, it doesn't have as much substance. I mean, these other songs like go places. They start somewhere, they do a slow build up, they make sure to hit the highs and the lows of like emotions. It's Sea Shanty 2 just ain't it for as good as it is. It's just not something I want to talk about the way that everyone talks about it. Everyone talks about it like it's the only song that they remember from their nostalgia. There's so many songs that if you, I mean, I'm telling you, Book of Spells, if you want to talk nostalgia, if you don't immediately jam out to Book of Spells, I can't type anymore, I'm dead. There's something wrong with you. It's like newbie melody. Like you gotta love these songs. These are a special place that have like left deep etchings on our soul. You know? This one is like my go-to. Hey, I'm nostalgic for RuneScape. No, don't say Flute Salad. Don't say Sea Shanty 2. I'm nostalgic for RuneScape. Book of Spells. Book of Spells. Let's go. And this isn't just to be different, because I feel anyone can like this song if you've even played the game. If you haven't played the game, then yes, sure, Gnome Kid and Sea Shanty 2, you know so much about RuneScape. But I feel like those aren't the people that really played RuneScape. If you haven't had some of these other songs seep into you, and the only thing that like you think back on when you think about RuneScape is Gnome Kid or Sea Shanty 2, you were very surface level experiencing the game. Those are very surface level things, I think. Why is this song so freaking phenomenal? This is powerful and it's already freaking good. It doesn't, you don't have a big build up like Wayward, but it is actually build up at this point because it does pop off too. Bing, 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 bing. Bing, 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 bing. Bing, 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 bing. Because it does want to pop off. Bing, 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 bing. 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 And that little like that weird instrument is so good there too. And that it does so much together. It just harmonizing beautifully, and then ding 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 ding. But it hasn't, like, we're already grown. It has the ding 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 going ding 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 ding. We are at an elevated place. I feel like the musicians for RuneScape need way more credit. These songs are so good. Ding, 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 ding. I feel things when I listen to this soundtrack. Because these songs like to go places sometimes, and I like that. It doesn't feel like something that's meant to loop. And none of these songs are really meant to loop. And it's amazing when I find something like Broo-hoo-hoo, or whatever that's called. What are you called? I have you in here. Or do I have you in here? I might have passed you up. B. Look for B. Let me just scroll down like this. Broo-hoo-hoo. I thought so. I was like, what is that called? Is it like Broo-hoo-ha? Broo-ha-ha? Broo-hoo-hoo? I thought it was Broo-hoo-hoo. I'm correct in thinking of that. It feels like Broo-hoo-hoo can be a kind of looped song, honestly, if you know where to loop it at. But it's a great song nonetheless. And this part where kind of slowly dissipates away, it vanishes for this to like really shine, because it was really cool as like a cool backbone, but then give it a moment to shine, and then it also vanishes. And now you get to see the backbone of that backbone shining all on its lonesome. Well, not on its lonesome. It's I don't know. It's fun. These songs are great. I love them. I love them a lot. Anyway, so calculations, results. Starflight. Not super surprised. I figured it was going to be, and you know what? I feel like Starflight is a special fella. I did feel sorry for Starflight like the entire anytime he was anywhere. This poor guy. I figured, yeah, Turtle would also be really high up there because that makes a lot of sense. Oh, Fathom. I like that Fathom is here. That he's a possibility. Glory makes sense in the first arc for people that are to themselves. Of course, Starflight is very to themselves. Cricket is less to themselves. She's very inquisitive though, and a thinker, but she is a very vocal friend kind of thinker. She's very different from come on, put that in here. I have to think about how to play this game. Oh. No, that was already a Rocket Trinity. I didn't need to. I'm good. Clearsight. Clearsight's a wonderful character. Fathom, Clearsight. I mean, beautiful stuff, honestly. Yeah, there's some really good books out there. Ren. Ren's so real. I'm so glad Ren's even in this. That's wonderful. That's so real. I mean, the distance is starting to get a little bit higher at this point, of course, but Moon, yeah. Snowfall. I wish I was like Snowfall. Snowfall is a really good read. That's not the name of the book, but yeah. I'm glad that this has a lot of characters like that. It includes Fathom, Clearsight, Ren. Everyone else's characters that we read from in numbered books and stuff like that, as opposed to like Clearsight and Fathom we read about from a book that's not very numbered. Anyway, getting a little distracted by phone. Luna, makes a little sense that Luna would be on this spectrum a little bit. Again, I know that the distance is getting bigger, but that makes sense. Deathbringer, that's funny. Deathbringer is like one of those characters that's a little hard to parse for me. I really kind of like what we've read from Deathbringer in his Winglets story. That was actually that was like one of the very first like, this is a good Winglets story. Like, I don't care about Fierce Teeth, but I think the second one was Assassin. So the second one we read about Deathbringer. And that was really good. The next one we read about was about Six Claws, I guess is plural, not singular. That one was also really good. That the last one was good, very good. I wouldn't say it excited me the way that the two middle ones did, but it was up there. Like the first Winglets story, I was just not about that. But I can turn this music back on. Yeah. Blue. I would have thought blue would have been a little bit more. I mean, but I wonder if it's because I'm not a rule follower, and I guess he may be a little bit more vocal than like reserved. I don't think blue is very reserved, but he's definitely a rule follower, and I am as well. Sundew, I wish I was close to Sundew. That's definitely not me though. I agree that this is getting bigger distance at this point. Sunny. I wish I had Sunny's strength. If I were to lose my coping mechanisms, I would not have the strength that she does. Kibbley could possibly be me if I was an extrovert. But I am very much an introvert, so big distance. Kinkajou, no, I feel like it's not me. I am kind of whimmy and spontaneous-ish, but that's like the ADHD thing, not like just whatever the Kinkajou thing is. I love Kinkajou though. Kinkajou's good. All these characters are good so far. Darkstalker. That's very much not me. And I feel like that's very much not like anyone. But, I mean, not necessarily not anyone. It feels like a very real character. I do like Darkstalker, and I mean... What a presence, what a creation of a character for this man winning like all the lotteries. What a freaking guy. What a freaking guy. 0 days years old, and he is already like, I won every lottery, let's go. What a funny winter. Yeah. I'm surprised winter's actually kind of far away. I wonder what they deem winter as that distance themselves that level of far. Let's see. What else was I thinking that? See, like, if Glory is like 7.34 away, why are you like an extra 10 beyond that? I'm not saying that Winter and Glory are identical, but like they have things that keep them reserved, and when they speak, it's very cutting. And you're not gonna see that when I'm playing like a game or streaming, recording, any of that stuff. But like if you are starting to bother me in real life, and I know I'm not gonna win an argument with you because you really are determined to win, I might actually say something that's extremely hurtful that takes a little bit of time to register. Very Glory-esque. But like I make my words count whenever I know that I'm not allowed to speak very much. And so like that's a winterism as well, I think. But also Winter does think highly. Well, I mean, so does Glory. But Winter, it's just interesting to see that one so far away. Clay, a softie. I don't think yeah. I'm not saying I'm not a softie, but I'm not like that much of like, oh, I love my friends forever and ever and ever. The more you understand me, the more you realize like, oh my gosh, I probably hate this guy because this guy's not actually a good friend. This guy's actually probably one of the worst friends by most people's definition of what a friend ought to be. I'm not that. I really am not what people tend to think a friend ought to be. And so Clay is like the paragon of what a friend ought to be in most people's eyes. Peril, kind of like Darkstalker, but even more so out there. Like it's not easy to be a Peril. psychologically. Peril is a very unique case that I wonder if things will change about that with Queen Ruby, because stuff like, I bet there's gonna be more people like Peril, and I feel that's gonna be healing for Peril, and for anyone that was gonna grow up like Peril, it might be preventative that it gets to the point that they are very Peril-esque. Peril's wonderful though. She's good. I just, yeah, Tsunami is not me. Sky. What is there to know about Sky? I don't know. I like how there's scores for all this. So I was apparently very Starflight, so very thoughtful, very introvert, pretty trusting, pretty friendly, very friendly in fact, not like the most friendly, but, and oh yeah, so not assertive, man. Clay's not assertive, but like maximum friendliness, maximum trusting, not very thoughtful. It's true. And you know, middle tier extroversion. I want to see what Darkstalker ends up at. Maximum assertiveness, yeah. Maximum, or not maximum, but middle ground friendliness. Nah, yeah. Pretty thoughtful. Middle ground extroversion. Yeah. And not very trusting. Understandable. Sky. This is kind of what I really want to see. So Sky is maximum trustful. Yeah. Maximum friend and trust. Not very thoughtful. Not very assertive. And middle tier extroversion. Okay. Yeah. Deathbringer. Yeah, because Deathbringer is like really high up there. Oh no, it's not. No, it's not. It's middle ground. But like, what? Who are you, Deathbringer? Like, what is your psychology? Very extroverted. Yeah, I agree. It shouldn't make sense, but yeah, it is him. It's true. Thoughtfulness is. I think that's a little higher than I would give it. I would put it like right at the 3, but I will accept that. Trustfulness is low, understandable. Friendliness is high. Sure. Assertiveness is, yeah. Let's see if the assertiveness is like 3.5. And where's Glory? Where's Glory? Glory is at 4. I like that. That's good. It's like just a little more assertive than him. Thoughtfulness is. I feel like the thoughtfulness would actually be higher on Glory. I feel like Glory is very thoughtful. Where's Sunny? Sunny. Middle ground assertiveness. I feel like she has the capability to be very assertive, but it often hinders herself. So I think this is like where I probably would put her if I thought about it for way too long, and I want to think about things for way too long. Trustfulness and friendliness. Extroversion is kind of high up there. Thoughtfulness. I feel like she should be more thoughtful. Really, honestly. I don't know why she's just a 3. That's silly. Moon is like a 4.2. That's good. Her extroversion is very, very minimum. Where's the Starflight? Yeah, it's even less than Starflight. Which makes sense. I understand with her upbringing and everything about her. It makes sense. Trustfulness? Yeah, it's true. Very friendly, very trustful. I mean, despite it all, she really does stay very trusting about a lot. And that's just, That's pretty strong, considering her assertiveness is middle ground-ish, yeah. Where's mine? Okay, my assertiveness is low. My thoughtfulness is high. My friendliness is middle, but a little bit high. My trustfulness is middle but low. And my extroversion is really low. Not quite, wait, no. Wait, so 1.5, but a little bit less than 1.5. I'm actually less extroverted than Moon. And that's coming from an upbringing where I have big family. Very, very big family, but there's a reason, again, even with Moon not having siblings, why she is as introverted the way she is. Winter, who are you? You're so closed off because your upbringing is, whoa, Blue. Where's Blue? Blue is, okay. Blue is really big and Winter is really not very thoughtful. That makes sense. Not very extroverted. I would have put him like a little bit more extroverted than that, but yeah, he's pretty introverted. Assertiveness is pretty high, I agree. For everything, yeah. Friendliness is pretty not. I mean, he's straight up, he's, what's the word? There's a word that I wanted to find for it, but I just don't know. Trustfulness is low. Yeah, no, this makes sense for Winter. I get it. So, Blue is maximum trustful, maximum friendly. Thoughtfulness is, sure, I'd give it like a almost 4. I would actually give it a solid 4. I would give it a solid 4. He's very thoughtful. Assertiveness is extremely low. I would put it less than that if it's possible to go less than that. Has anyone been less than 1? Is 1 possible to be less than? No. Okay, so if 1 is the lowest something could be and nothing could ever be lower than 1, then yeah. Poor fella. Anyone? Anywhere lower than... Oh! Almost! We got like someone who's at 1 in terms of assertiveness, but same with you, right? Yeah. But like, with your thoughtfulness being so low, it like kind of dips. But that's like not a spectrum right here in between thoughtful and assertive. So yeah, no one, okay, low is the lowest that, 1 is the lowest that it can go. So maximum trustful, maximum friendly, minimum assertive. Pretty extroverted, yeah, I was kind of figuring that. And thoughtfulness is... Oh, let's look at Snowfall. Where was Snowfall in terms of things? Snowfall's down to 14. Ren is 12. So Snowfall, where's Run? Run's right there. Snowfall. I would have put her at a 3, but like just barely above 3 is fine. Extroversion is, yeah, closed off, that makes sense, I get that. Friendliness is not. Trustfulness is not. Yeah. Assertiveness is high up there. I like her. She's great. Ren is pretty thoughtful. Yeah. Yeah, I'd say so. Considering some of her accomplishments, she absolutely is thoughtful, for sure. Assertiveness is... I would have put that at a 4, honestly. She's 1.6 for extroversion. Yeah. Trustfulness is extremely low. Makes sense for her, abso-freaking-lutely. And friendliness is a 2. Yeah. Look at freaking Kinkajou all over the place. Maximum extroverted, maximum friendly, very trusting. Pretty thoughtful though. And not very assertive, but not unassertive either. That's calculations. Holy moly. Oh, I'm allergic to numbers. My brain is freaking out. Okay, so transposed. Hey, stop with your little tinks. Look at me getting so close to filling up on fractite. Inverse covariance matrix. Yeah, I don't know what that means. It's freaking weird. Numbers. Oops. Can I like scroll this way? Sure is numbers. Sure is things and steps. So you're close to Kibli. Who's... I know who Kibli is, but like, what does it say about Kibli? I like Kibli a lot. Didn't think I was gonna... I mean... When you see Kibli in like book 5, and so it's just like, okay, cool, like this guy is just loyal and extroverted. I don't think I'm gonna like him. And then book 6, I'm like, oh, never mind, this guy, this guy. And he stays fun the whole way. Very thoughtful, absolutely, of course. Extroverted. Yeah, he's not maximum extroverted, but he's definitely up there. I wish that there's more characters, because there's been, the last like book had like a slew of new characters that I want to see more of, and I hope that like Arc 4 like explores them more. I'm just so like extrovertedness, like him just, you know, poking fun at Bullfrog that one time was wonderful. It was like, yes, I love this interaction. Is just special. Trustfulness is middle ground, yeah. How is mine? I'm actually a little untrusting, okay. Because I was about to be like, I feel like we're about the same on trustfulness. Friendliness is pretty high. I'm not friendly. Snowfall is way less than me, though. What about glory? Glory is kind of similar to me. I'm on like that glory level, a little bit more friendly than glory, but not... Okay, Kibli. You're pretty assertive, but not like very assertive, but pretty, yeah. Who else is like really low? Like, who's a 2 and assertive? Yeah, Starflight. Anyone else a 2? Just this book series have it? Aha, Cricket. Yeah, I should look at Cricket a little bit. So Cricket is very, very thoughtful. I am not. I mean, I'm very thoughtful, but not very, very. Very friendly. I was less than that, but like 4.35 or something. Trustful, I'm not. I am under 3. You're at 4. But your assertiveness is on point with me. Extroversion is low. I feel like you're a little bit more extroverted than that, but I understand why it's like that too. Okay, no, this makes sense. I get why she has low extroversion. Cricket is up there, yes. Okay, Cricket is a close match. Makes sense. Just that some stuff is slightly more pointy on her end. I am like Cricket shaped but dulled. Not as sharp, not as pointy. Anyway, friendliness is pretty high on Kibli. Mine is a little over 3. Who is a little over 3? You're like 3 itself, so I'm like glory level, as I was saying before, I think. You're 4. Oh, turtle. I should look at turtle soon. I love turtle. Turtle. I felt like I would have been close to a turtle. Where does turtle show up on this list for me? Yeah, you're 3. Yes, exactly. Exactly. See? No, I like the results of this. Starflight, cricket, turtle, fathom, glory. Okay, yeah, that's freaking wonderful. That's phenomenal. Like, that's exactly right. So 3. You're 3.5, Luna. I want to read about Luna too, man, because I've just the last book that has come out so far of the main numbered series. The last book of R3 was Luna. Spoilers, but I'll try to avoid saying too much spoilers, even though it's mainly me who's gonna be watching this in the future. So you're like 3? Yeah, Darkstalker is like a 3 in friendliness. Nice. I'm glad I'm glad that this aligns right there. In the terms of friendliness, I'm like Darkstalker friendly. That's great. I will own that. Sky, of course, maximum friendly. Ren's less than maximum friendly. And by less, I mean severely. You're at a 2. So yeah, clear sight's very, very friendly. Fathom. Where's Fathom? Yeah, no, Fathom was like my 4th one. Good, good. Fathom is... I'm surprised your trustfulness is... No, yeah. Despite everything, you were still pretty trustful. You're skeptical, but like you're mostly trusting. I agree. As opposed to me, which is still less. Wait, I was like the same level of trustfulness as Kibli, right? Because I was really happy with like Kibli making a decision at one point to not trust somebody, and I was like, yeah, that's very smart of you. And then it turned out to be very smart that I was like, yeah. I'm like, dude, you didn't fall for the trap. Like, I'm so happy to see that this has been avoided, because I was about to be, I mean, I wouldn't seize, I mean, like, I conceived about things like PMD2 or Sea Shanty 2, but I love things that are numbered 2, but like those are the 2s that I don't like. But yeah, like it was like, okay, I see where this is going, and here's a bit of a thing that's gonna happen because whoa, he caught on. Which, I mean, that was like his whole thing. He catches on because he's a thinker. He is very very ADHD when you see that guy. Anyway, trustfulness. I compared my trustfulness to everyone else yet? Glory is like 2.5. I am like 2.5. Yeah, there we go, Glory. Yeah, Glory is like number 5. Yeah, okay. Anyone else like a... Okay, Starflight is like a 3. I can see why this is aligning. Yeah, no, this has a similar shape. Yeah, very close with the assertiveness. I'm a little bit lower on the friendliness. Thoughtfulness, you're higher. You're higher on extroversion. And we're like higher, you're higher on trustfulness. Yeah. But it's very similar shape, yeah. I'm just more assertive. Oh, I'm done with this? Yay, invention experience. Okay, that's like a turtle. Turtle is a little over 1 on extroversion. No, there's 1. He's a little over 2 on extroversion. I'm more introverted than Turtle. Turtle, his name makes a lot of sense for a lot of aspects of this character, so when I'm saying I'm more introverted than Turtle, it makes, well, actually, I don't know, in terms of, you would think, well, I don't know what you would think, so never mind. Anyway, 1, 2, a little over 2 in terms of trustfulness. Yeah, good. Okay, we're very aligned. Your friendliness is up to 4. I am still not quite to 4. I'm just a little over 3. That's still pretty close. Your assertiveness is a little over 1. Mine is 2. Yeah. Okay, and your thoughtfulness is 3. I'm at 4. Turtle's special. Okay, Fathom. Fathom is more trusting than Turtle. Less friendly. About the same extroversion. Yeah, it makes sense. You're like 2.5 for thoughtful. And Turtle's a little bit more thoughtful, yeah? Maybe. I think so. You're a little assertive. You're the same level of assertive, yeah. It's so... I love these two. So yeah, that makes sense that they're pretty similar-ish, so then... Yeah. Fathom is a little bit further away from me than Turtle is, but like, still, like, almost 6, and just a little above 6. What else? I want to read Ren. Ren is 3.5 thoughtful. I'm like 4. Your assertiveness is above 3, so that's, yeah, 3.5 as opposed to my 2. Yeah, you're very much on the assertive side of things. Again, I thought you would have been more though. So like I'm right here, you're like bam and a half. Friendliness is 2. That's close. But there's still clear. Here's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Here's 7 down there. In terms of all the way up to 8. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 8 of them that are distance under 10, and I like them all. But then Snowfall, I wish you could have been in there too. Ren, wait, I read your friendliness, right? Your friendliness is 2, as opposed to my 2 and no, wait, 3 and a smidge. Okay, I'm more friendly than Ren. Surprising. I feel like I could easily be a very Ren kind of person. Trustfulness is like 1.5, as opposed to my 2.5. Extroversion is 1.5, as opposed to my, yeah, okay. Yeah, Ren would be kind of close-ish. Anyone else that I haven't really looked at? Sundew. Sundew is assertive, not very friendly. I love Sundew. Sundew's great. Helpfulness is low-ish. Like, yeah, you're under 3. So I would say that's low. But you're at 3 extroversion, and you're at 2 trustfulness. Yeah, yeah. Extroversion is 2. I feel like her extroversion is like 3, but maybe that's just because like the first book. But that's kind of an interesting case in the first book when it comes to stuff. I feel like 2's great, good option. I like 2. That makes sense. Her assertiveness is high because she doesn't know anything else. That's just how things work for her by default, and so that's just the norm for her. So that, of course, like she has no qualms being this way. 1.5 for thoughtfulness. Yeah. It's so funny when you read her book and just like everything hinges on like basically one thing, and that's like how she starts to develop herself. There's only like one thing that allows her to develop herself, basically. It's really silly, but it's just she's an interesting case in general. In terms of characters, very unique. So I understand why things are very crinkled, shrunk along a lot of the stuff. Trustfulness is lowish. I feel I would give it like a 2.5, honestly. Considering things in on like the first book. So 2 for friendliness. Yeah, there's no need for her to be friendly. Yeah.
I didn't see that. I really didn't think I would. And also, if you're feeling really spicy, you can take a look at the
I was feeling spicy, and I felt extra spiced. That was
calculations tab to see what was going on behind the scenes. Spoiler alert, it's matrix algebra, but I didn't quite have time to edit a video and all that, so instead, for all of you Stats Hats fans out there, I wrote up an explanation in a Google Doc that you can check out
nice.
in the comments, and with that, I hope you enjoyed.
I'm so glad that you had an explanation.
Watching.
Anyone like being like, yo, we're making it out of Jade Mountain with this one. Don't know what the heck. Why are you so excited about that? We're making it out of Jade Mountain with this one. Great video. Honestly, didn't expect to get Ren. Oh, wonderful. But if you got Kibli, then the test was obviously accurate. Completely agree. So awesome. Good for you. Who got clear sight? Why are you mentioning good for you? Not me getting Kibli. Sky. Never mind. I got Starflight. I was confused. So that's cool to see someone who is like Sky. Like that's like. I wonder how. I wonder if that's. I wonder if you got something really similar to me, that person, and thought like Sky, like, oh, well, that's the one that like got the most points, I guess. Oh wait, no, I'm confused. It was the biggest distance. I'm actually Starflight. I wonder if that's what happened. Because I was about to be like, how do you get confused and think that you were Sky? Sky and Starflight are very opposite ends of the spectrum for when the spectrum is calibrated on me, at least. But no, it probably just remains different. Let me look at Starflight is pointy, kind of strong, and kind of weak, as opposed to Sky, which is not pointy, a little bit strong. Yeah, I mean, like, nah, they differ a bit, but there can be closeness. I wonder if it's possible to be. I know it is possible to be kind of. There is a middle ground where Starflight could be close to Sky, where you could be close to both Sky and Starflight, rather. When it's calibrated to your chart, you can have both of the things close. But I'm wondering if it wasn't close for them, if they had a similar chart like myself, where they were opposite, and it's like, ah, yes, I got the big numbers for Sky. I should have. No, never mind. I'm just gonna put that in there. I'll try to remember 10. Is that Luna and Kibli are? Okay, those are further from me. If this is respective, can get you Sunny at. Okay, I'm guessing that these first three, Clearsight, Luna, Kibli, are respectively 3.03, 3.09, and 3.93, which aren't as close as I am to. I mean, it's about that's like basically 3, and same with 3.03 is basically 3. But I'm closer to Starflight than you are to Clearsight. I got Glory. She's my favorite. I got Glory stuffed animal right in front of me right here, and I have one in my car too because I got another one. I got the slap bracelet Glory, and I got the dangler Glory. Glory's great. She's my favorite, but with the U right below Kibli, of course. Kibli's great, really. Starflight. Oh, wow, you freaking nailed the Starflight on that one. Cricket, Turtle, Fathom, Clearsight. I had Glory closer than, Glory was right in the middle of Fathom and Clearsight, but I have a very we're close. Thank you for making the quiz. My little brother's score. Ooh, you got close to Ren. Freaking this person's freaking got it. Like, oh, you got Snowfall in there too. What a freaking top 5 crowd. I wish I was as biting as like some of these characters like Ren and Snowfall and Glory. But closer to Turtle and Fathom than I am to Ren and Snowfall, sadly. It's fine. I've only read the first 4 books. Well, certainly saw that coming. Starflight. Give me that. Give me that. Yum. Ooh, I like this song. Crystal Sword. Yeah, I was about to say, like, which one in the Wilderness is this? This is like a classic, but then I found out I actually liked a different song in the Wilderness better than Crystal Sword. But this is not as good as the old school RuneScape version. Yeah, this is so weak. What happened to the gosh dang Wilderness tracks? Got butchered in RuneScape 3. You can hardly hear the do 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 do, and they don't have the like wonderful instrument like that's going on. I'll continue listening to this, but I need to like. This song ain't doing it. So you've only read 4 of the books. This was a really interesting test, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Thanks. I've only read the first 4 books so far. How long ago was this? A year ago. So you probably finished the books by now. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe you didn't continue reading after the first or second arc or something. I don't know. I don't want to assume too much for you. Been wiping them out in the past few days. Okay, no, you're probably you probably read them all. Absolutely awesome. So much creativity and hard work clearly went into everything. It's true. Like I'm glad that there's like the results that show like all these other characters. It shows you like a numerical distance to all of them, and then it gives you the big dirty. If you want to read the big dirty, I keep thinking I could just like middle click and get what I want. But yeah, like is it in here that I can? No. Where did you say the explanations were? Where did you say the explanations were?
All of you Stats Hats fans out there, I wrote up an explanation in a Google Doc that you can check out linked in the comments, and with that...
In the comments. How many pages? 6 pages? Okay, that's not even bad. I could take a read through that at some point. Okay. Correct. Forecast surprise. Okay, I guess I'll listen to Crystal Sword after this then. Fine. Where's Vorkath on the personality? Where's Vorkath? Vorkath is friendliness maximum. Trustfulness. I'm gonna skip that. Extroversion 4. It's thoughtfulness 3. Assertiveness 2. I can't Okay, what did I just say? Your trustfulness? I don't know your trustfulness. You're maximum friendly, so that's differing from me. Your assertiveness is the same as me. Maybe it's even less. No. No, I'm gonna say your assertiveness is 1. Cold 1. Let's put a cold 1 on that one. Your friendliness is maximum. Your thoughtfulness, I'm gonna say is 2, so you're a bit low on that one. Extroversion, I'm gonna put at a 4, so that's very different from me. So we get a lot of differences. And trustfulness, it's 3.5. So it's a singular jump. So that's kind of minimum, but not like minimum distance, but it's like a small distance, a noteworthy distance, but small but noteworthy. Okay. No, that's not how I go back to RuneScape. I don't care about the waiting game, I don't think. I don't know the song very well. Mute, grab, marker trinity, and crystal sword. Let's go! But I do feel like these books are kind of... I should do like a talk about these books, if I can find a time. I need to pee, and I need to go to bed. But, yeah. I feel like, before I forget about these books, like, I'm glad I was able to do this while I still remember characters and stuff like that. It's gonna be hard whenever Arc 4 happens, if it happens like in 2025, which is too soon and not soon enough simultaneously. It's just that really weird I'm gonna be over it kind of zone. Maybe, I don't know. It's gonna be hard for me to jump back into it again, but I would actually really like a reason to read these again now that I own all the books. The 6 books in Arc 5, so the main 5 Arc 5 books, and the other book that kind of supplements in the middle of Arc 5, while not telling an Arc 5, or Arc 3, while not telling an Arc 3 story. The 5 Arc 3 books, and the supplemental Arc 3 book that doesn't take place during the time of Arc 3, but helps build upon what we're about to explore in Arc 3, even though it's from kind of Arc 1. See how much better Crystal Sword is, by the way? This is wonderful. I love the wilderness. Old wilderness. Wilderness just ain't the same. And the music really reflects that. It's so sad. It's very sad. This is good. Anyway, I need... Ding, 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 ding. Wonderful. And that was... Yeah, I'm at 30. Great. I should try to... Because, like, I don't... Yeah, I could just, like, go off on spoilers, too. Like, I should just, at one of these points, if I could find a spare time to, like, document my thoughts on the books. I would like to reread them again, too, which would be great. Whenever Arc 4 happens, I might actually go back into rereading some of the stuff. So I borrowed the books through libraries and online libraries. I was able to read book 11, 12, 13, Legends, Dragon Slayer, 14 and 15, all borrowed, but I actually own them now, digitally, as ebooks on my phone. But, yeah, I should consider spilling out my thoughts while they're still fresh. And this is from, like, something I started, like, 2 months ago, so I'm really out to get to it soon, I would hope, because I really don't want to lose certain things about, like, how I think about some of this stuff. And this, if I don't, like, have, like, RuneScape going on in the background, I just sit down and talk about it for a very long time, I feel like it would still be hours long, probably like a 3-hour talk about just these books. Because I as much as I was, like, saying, like, maybe I shouldn't say too much spoilers while, like, looking at these, I'm like, well, I don't care. This is, like, documenting for me. And if I want to talk about, like, the books the way that I want to talk about them, spoilers are going to happen. Absolutely. So I'm guessing what I'm kind of saying is, like, I want to do, like, a review, which means it's probably not going to happen because I'm verbalizing right now, so it's probably not going to happen. But I would like to do, like, a personal review, not like a professional review off of any sort of scale, or a professional review where I, like, try to critically assess things on, like, relatable terms. I just want to talk and bleed about the stuff that I cared about these books, the way that I bleed about things, which is not normal. You see me play games and I'm like, I love this to death, and there's problems with it and I don't freaking care. It's just how I am. I don't know. Like, I feel like certain qualities can cancel out certain faults for me completely, where something doesn't even sour my flavors if there's some things that make it all worthwhile. And then you would think that if there was another game, for example, like I'm just, like, building a hypothetical right here, but, like, if there was another game that built upon what I loved and removed any of the ire and irksomeness that might have existed in some of the negatives that, again, didn't sour me then and won't sour me when they don't exist, or toned into a more realistic, a more acceptable and parsable level, I don't think that would make me like that other game more, even though you think you just made it technically better. I like a certain roughness to stuff, and so, like, things being rugged has a certain genuine charm to it. I love when things feel genuine. These books, for example, that I've read. Where are you? There you are. These funny books with the funny dragons and everything. They aren't perfect. They aren't perfect books. They mean a lot to me because the characters are phenomenal. But even the characters aren't perfect, and, like, the stories, they can get messy. They can get very messy, and, like, they tell a very cool journey, and they have really cool high points and really cool bombastic moments. But also things kind of just happen, and it's like, oh, this didn't lead very well into that, and oh, well, that just resolved. Yay. Like, whenever you watch The Wizard of Oz, I just recently watched The Return to Oz, or whatever, which was my very first time seeing that. But when you think about, like, The Wizard of Oz, at least I've never read the books, so when I say watch, I mean, like, I watched, like, that, I guess probably like 1960s, or when did that come out? 1950s? Let's check it out. Oh wow, that was 1939 as opposed to the book, because I feel like the books, oh wow, the book is 1900, man. Anyway, so yeah, Wizard of Oz, 1939, so that's I mean, color TV. So yeah, this would be definitely way before 60s, duh. It's like shortly before Gone with the Wind. I should see that again. I remember trying to watch it and I could not get into it, but I should try it again. Just to spite everything inside of myself and say, ha, I win. Whatever. There's, like, a battle against my brain all the time and forever. Anyway, why did I bring up Wizard of Oz? Oh yes, the freaking resolution of certain things just kind of happen sometimes. Like in this freaking Wizard of Oz, and it's like, hey, you know what? I don't like you, witch. I'm gonna douse you with water. What? My only weakness! Water! Oh, what a world! Oh, well, that works. Well, that cleans things up. We win. We murdered again. Hooray! It just works out. That type of thing can and will happen in these books where it's just like, ah, that worked out. And then there's like messiness of like, well, the messiness is that we get to see through the eyes of like all of these characters basically, except for, let me see, do we get to see the eyes of you, 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 you? No. Wait, yeah, you through the winglet. You are not. You. We don't get to see through your eyes ever. Get out of here. You. Not you. So you and you, Kinkajou and Sky. We don't really get to see their perspective in any of the books. They're very important characters, and I'm glad that they show up here. I get to, but nonetheless, with like 17 books, let me see how many characters there are. There's 1, 2, 3. Well, can I just? Does this say anywhere? Count 22. That makes sense. From 6. Okay, yeah, from 27 to 6 inclusive would be 22. Correct. Okay, so that makes sense. Jeez. Do that, please. So 22 characters. We have like 17 books, and 2 of the books have more than one character that it focuses on. 3 each. So let's say 15 plus 6 is 21. Yeah, I guess there is, let's see. Yeah, we don't get to see a couple characters from one of the books. But instead we get Kinkajou, who doesn't have anything, and Sky, who doesn't have anything. I hear you. I'm coming to grab that free experience. But yeah, so like things jump around a bit from perspective because each book is centered on a different character. And some books center on multiple characters, and those books are great, both of them. I think there's like a popular belief that like the second one is not that great. The second one that centers on like multiple characters is still great. Don't you dare tell me it isn't. So what else am I trying to? Oh yeah, so that of course, if we're shifting from like character to character to character, things can get messy, especially when like, let's just say Arc 2. Arc 2 is like really where it kind of gets messy, even though like you would think Arc 3 kind of would get messy in the same way. It's messy in a different way, while still being like almost as grounded as the first arc. The first arc does a great job at being really grounded and like it's setting up something. While telling a story, it's also building this world. And then the second arc, it's like we got the world building out of the way, time to like just go nuts. And they set up enough things where they were Chewie was very capable of going off the rails nuts, and things get off the rails. And it's great. It's like cathartic to see some of the stuff that occurs. You're like, dang, I'm glad that like things can get this out of hand. But I don't know. It also feels a little bit unwieldy. No, that's not unwieldy. It's just like a bit bumbly cumbersome, but just a bit, but everywhere. I don't know. I should really try to talk about all these books at some point. I'd really like to. Yeah, I think so. Anyway. Oh, before I end, I gotta hit that and get that ×7. Nice job. very cool. Very cool. Wizard of Oz. Return to Oz was also a very funny ending. Well, I mean, that's a very funny movie. I actually really like that one. Anyway, anything else in here that was worth reading? Just quickly before I cut off the video, recording. It's about to yell at me. Aha! Aha! I got Starflight and just almost clear sight. But I'm still pretty happy. No, Starflight's great. Here's another thing. The book that centers around Starflight, people, I think, tend to not like that book either. And I thought that book was freaking great. And then, don't worry, there's books that blew that one out of the water. Arc 1, I look back on, and I think it digested very, very well. I am left with something very good out of that arc, even if it feels like, first off, fast resolutions and just like, I don't know. It felt grounded in a way that is like, okay, well, let's do this part of the checklist and that part of the checklist and that part of the checklist. But it really subverted a lot of things, which kept me very entertained throughout. The fact also that we got so many viewpoints kept me very, very entertained and excited throughout. Book 4, I think, was exactly what it needed to be. The ending felt a little funky, weird to me. I like what happened, but it's also just, I don't know. It's a little silly. I don't know. The way that I took it was a little strange. Book 5 was phenomenal. But then you finally get to book 6. You're on the next arc and you're like, okay, well, book 6. Oh my gosh, why is this the perfect book? And I still think that like book 6 stands on equal ground for me with like Legends Darkstalker. Legends Darkstalker, I understand why everybody loves that now. I'm not even gonna say like it's I think people tend to like. No, people tend to like it, and for very good reason, for very, very extremely good reason is that good. But you're gonna want to at least read the first, like even though it's a prologue, it comes like it takes place before any of the books, any of the other books. This is the one that takes place first if you're talking about the chronology of all of these books. That one, if you disregard one of the winglets, that one is the very, very, very start. But don't start with that one because it's freaking off the rails like the rest of Arc 2. This was released in Arc 2, and you're gonna want to like kind of build yourself up through all of Arc 1's world building and through all of Arc 2's shenaniganery. Like Arc 2 does shenanigans, and it's shenaniganery. I want to say it like that, shenaniganery. Arc 2 shenaniganery is something you have to like really trickle into. It trickles pretty fast, so don't think it trickle meaning like, eventually you'll get to the place you need to be. No, you're gonna be there at a pretty nice pace, like, don't worry. But once you get used to that shenaniganery, then you're ready for the absolute freaking nuts off the rails of that book while being wonderfully contained. So I think she did amazing with that book because of how contained it had to be. And things converged on itself so perfectly, and then like once everything converged, it exploded out beautifully and it resolved as we expect. I'm not gonna say the resolution was like phenomenal, but it's better than the resolution for like Arc 1. What a journey that one singular book was, just on its own. Phenomenal. I would love to talk about it. I should. Anyway, look at me with my 91 Promethium ores. That's enough talking, I think. Much better than the average personality test. Woo! Waff fans forever. Smiley face. Clicked on this 17 seconds late. No. What do you mean? Question mark? A free experience. I think they got the video. I mean, it had been up for 17 seconds? I don't know. 32 people linked it. Luna, Glory, Clear Sight, good. Moon and Kibli. What a selection. Awesome. Freaking good stuff. Moon's wonderful. Clear Sight's wonderful. Glory's wonderful. Luna I like a lot. Kibli I like a lot. Luna I like a lot, but like less than Kibli. Kibli is really up there. And then like, where would I'd rate him higher than Glory even. But barely. Glory and Kibli are on equal levels. Like, I like these characters a lot. But yeah, Kibli maybe a smidge more. Clear Sight and Moon are their own unique brands of like, oh my gosh, my my fellas, oh, they're trying so hard, and it's so, oh, my headache champions right here. I love them. I love them. Deathbringer, wow. Glory, is that Glory? You have a Glory. You have a Glory, and you got Glory. Congratulations.
Yo, have you ever wondered which Wings of Fire character you are most like?
No.
Well,
No, no. No, no. No, no. No, no. No, no. No, no.